Tadpole, you sound like you're around 18, but you say this class was back when Fallout 4 came out. Yeah, so, Cyrebellum, I'm glad I sound young. I definitely feel like, on the inside, I'm a young kid. That's why I'm Patient Tadpole. I'm 26. I still don't feel 26. I barely feel 21. So, yeah. Tadpole is no Tadpole in real life. Hey, I'm a Patient Tadpole. So in case you're wondering, that picture of the Patient Tadpole, if you zoom out and see the full picture, the idea is there's two frogs, just like tiny on the screen is two frogs, because the idea is the tadpole just keeps growing but not evolving. He's as big as the pond. The idea is he's still evolving. He's always growing. He's always evolving. And therefore he's still a tadpole, despite, at this point, becoming too large. That's not a puddle he's sitting in. That's the pond he's sitting in. If you zoom out, you can actually see the weeds and two frogs just stuck because they can't get in the pond because the tadpole's too big. Yep, I'm a little too big. I'm a little too old. I don't really like it. Still like... And another thing is, because I ended up involving myself with, I ended up involving myself with the college a lot, and through that, ended up interacting with the people who are coming to college, and, like, helping them out, and ended up making groups and stuff. So because of that, I ended up having a lot of friend groups, where I am by far the oldest person in the group. It's starting to get infuriating now, because, like, I want to play Dungeons & Dragons, but the main Dungeons & Dragons campaign that is going on, the people there are... You know, they're teenagers that have realized, oh, we're adults now, therefore we can do adult things. Haha, sex, boobs, ha ha ha. I'm just like, I can't wait for a year to go by and they realize, hey man, all of these cuss words and sex talk is getting really boring. Listen, I just want to play a game and actually talk about stuff. Like, I'm waiting for that moment. Because it's a really fun game and then it gets interrupted by the fact that everyone is a teenager who became an adult. That's the best way to describe it. There's growing pains. There's still growing pains. And they'll get out of there. They'll get out of there. They're always people always do, and they're very good people. It's just like, then we play the campaign, and the themes of the campaign go a little, yeah. Good people though. They're still definitely my friends. I just can't really do the campaign anymore. And yeah, you can't really tell a person's age by college. People enter college at different times. With different goals for different lengths. I actually stayed in college So I went to a community college. I went to basically the local community college because it was super cheap. Like, I want to be clear, I have those 3 associate degrees. If you've heard all the nightmares about American college system and going to debt, I am $0 in debt. I never took a class I couldn't pay for up front. Like, I am $0 in debt. I love that the community colleges are cheap. If it wasn't for community colleges that are available and cheap, I would have just said, heck no to college. I'll try to program on my own or some garbage. But yeah. So that was kind of my theme. That means I also went very slowly. So like, as I said, I'm still only at associate's degrees. I was in college for 6 years. And yes, we could imagine paying for education. Dude, the college system in America is one of the few things where I feel like if I get into this, I'm going to be stuck. I don't like getting angry. Let me put it that way. I don't like getting angry. There are problems. Actually, let's tell one more story, because as I said, I worked at the college. I tutored for it once, and then one time, for a leadership sort of thing, basically my job was, as a student, I would sit in to teacher board meetings where they discuss like what classes will be available for the next semester, what classes do we have to act, what classes do we have to apply, and I would sit in, and basically my job is, they would go, hey, we need the opinion of a student, how would they like it? And they would just look at me and be like, all right, what do you think? I'd be like, well, how about this or this? And that was basically my job. I would just sit into these long board meetings, sitting in a corner, taking notes. And then someone would... And I remember in one of those board meetings, there was this hilariously sad issue. Ironically, it actually has to do with math. That's actually really cool. It has to do with... This issue actually has to do with math. So, this math... So, we had a math class, which was basically... So, for math, you know how you go from algebra to... You do, like, geometry and algebra for a while, then you get to trigonometry. Trigonometry extends to calculus, and then calculus extends out to a bunch of other branches. And then, yeah, there's also statistics along the way. Well, the thing is, for the prerequisites of the associate transferables, to transfer to other colleges to get their bachelor's, they needed to have statistics taken care of, but a lot of the people that needed statistics taken care of could not pass algebra. I'm not sure if it was algebra 2 or just algebra in general, but they couldn't pass algebra. And so the idea was they were going to make this class that just kind of... It's called Intro to Statistics, and it teaches you everything you need to know about statistics that is given in algebra, but just focuses on that, so you don't have to learn all the functions, all the ax squared plus bx plus c. You don't need to learn all those, like, if you hate variables, you can avoid variables and still learn statistics. I stopped paying attention to math when Lars came and ruined everything. So that was basically the idea of this. They want to teach statistics, but numbers came in and are ruining everything, so we're going to try to teach them everything in algebra they need while avoiding x, while avoiding y, z's, and m's and b's. So that was the idea of this class. And, it's pretty cool. And everyone's like, oh, it's great, do we have an issue? And the math teacher who was sitting there was the one who shot up his hand. He's like, yeah, so this sounds great, but I'm going to explain... So, I guess I should explain why this class was offered. So this class was offered because the college campus, it was a community college, and therefore a lot of the paying is from the state. Therefore, if the state demands that something is... if it decides something's going to happen in the college, then it happens. So what happened recently is they were having that issue of people were not getting to statistics. So they proposed this intro to statistics, and they said, like, oh, all these things is going to work. People are going to pass. I remember something they specifically laughed at is that we're going to have a majority pass rate. And there's just like that laughter, because if you heard a story from just a while ago, you can't decide if people are going to pass. If they want to fail, they're going to fail. So there was issues with what the state was saying, but of course they're not the state. They're the college that gets the money from the state. They have to do it anyways. They have to fulfill what the state says, even though they're not the state, even though they're actually on the ground. Well, anyways, this teacher came up and was like, all right, so I see an issue. So we're teaching Intro to Statistics, we're avoiding functions, we're avoiding the mx plus b, y equals mx plus b, we're avoiding all of those equations. And then they're going to learn statistics. Great. I'm certain you can make a little path to that. But here's the problem. The whole reason they're learning statistics is so they can get associate transferable to another college where they're paying a lot of money to finish off their degree. Now, when you get to that college, they require a few math classes. They're going to require level 1 calculus. So, we are sending in kids who do not know y equals mx plus b, who do not know slope equations, and we're going to teach them, and they're going to come in, and the first day is going to be, alright, let's just do a review of functions, make sure everyone knows the formulas. Tomorrow we'll talk about derivatives, quadratic equation. Just a reminder of the quadratic equation. Some of you probably forgot y equals mx plus... Some of you probably forgot x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's a complicated equation. I understand why you're having an issue with it. And yeah, then we'll just get into we'll finish up derivatives, we'll start integrals, and yeah, that's basically the plan for the semester. And a lot of kids, basically, we're sending the kids to their death. We're sending kids to their death. We're setting them up to fail. We are setting these kids up to fail. I added, they're saying them to their death. The teacher said we're setting them up to fail. I'm really worried about it. And so there was like, the rest of that meeting, the rest half hour of that meeting was like all the teachers just like, all right, how can we work around this problem? We can't, the state's tying our hands. Could we do, I think someone actually brought up, can we do a protest? And they're like, whoa, whoa. Oh, and like the cuisine, the cuisine, the arts of like food and chef and stuff like that was like, whoa, whoa. I'm already like, we are asking for the courses I'm getting right now. If we suddenly put a strike like that, all of my students get guttered as well. So like, there was like a huge fight in there because there was this, and the final answer was, unfortunately, look, the state said we're doing this, let's just pray and do what we can. Because, yep. So, that was actually a theme that happened. So it's like, at the colleges, I can tell the teachers are doing everything they can. The teachers are doing everything they can, but they have certain hands tied because, as Freak State says perfectly, universities in the USA are judged on graduation rate, nothing else. Just graduation rate. Yep. So this is actually why I'm not planning, like, if I get a bachelor's degree, I'm doing it at a trade school known for a specific degree. Because if I'm not going to go into debt in a university with, as you're saying, universities are judged by graduation rates. I feel like that's going to put me in debt and not lead anywhere. That's going to, in a few years, that's not going to lead anywhere. They're going to say, oh, you graduated. Yeah, but did you just take all these EA classes? Take the challenge. Prove to me you actually are worthwhile. And I think I could do that better at trade school than at a college where I'm going to debt for. So that's basically the plan.